This week on the news desk, the changes dealt with in the royal flash as President Cyril Ramaphosa reshuffled his cabinet, and the inaugural Minister of Electricity has finally been announced. The alleged fake documents submitted to the city of Tshwane left the city without a mayor. And Nehawu strikes demonstrates SA human rights in 2023. Take your seat because this is the news desk. Shabfere, welcome to another episode of the News Desk right here on television, where we inform, impact and inspire you. As always, we track all the stories for you and break it down for you as they happen. Let's not waste any time. Let's go behind the headlines. In here, President Cyril Ramaphosa has finally reshuffled his cabinet. This comes after weeks of speculations whether if he will do this shuffle. The anticipated cabinet reshuffle finally happened, even though it took time for him to announce it. Was this what South Africa has hoped for? Appointed Minister of Electricity, Tshwane Mayor, says that he will lay a strategic plan in how to implement changes within the electricity crisis of South Africa. Mayor, who was unveiled as the inaugural electricity minister during President Cyril Ramaphosa's cabinet reshuffle on Monday, was tasked with all aspects of the electricity crisis response, as Eskom battling ages of infrastructure, governance issues, and indwelling generational capacity.
I know that there's an appetite, if you like, that is justified from our people. They really want to know from this minute, when is load shedding going to end? Yes. And when I left my house, my son was telling me, but Daddy, when is load shedding going to end? No, I'm not having a switch on off. So the point I'm making is that we are going to be honest to the South African people. It's important and transparent about our ability to address this. I did say when I started earlier on, I am more than confident that we'll be able to resolve load shedding, and we'll come back to you with.
Only the anticipated Minister of Electricity was the star of the show. Mashadile, who was sworn in as the Deputy President of South Africa after speculations saying that he might be the next president of the country. Minister in the presidency for Women, Youth and Nkosazana Zuma moved from Kokda, and Kokda was replaced by Ntembi Nkadimeng. Not forgetting Sihle Zigalala making a comeback as structure, and Minister Lindiwe Sisulu and Patricia Delil took over the reins. Pakistan making the Deputy Minister of. On to politics now. The city of Tshwane was without a mayor on Friday after Tshwane Mayor resigns as Tshwane Mayor but admits to no guilt in fake certificate saga. The embattled Tshwane Mayor Tshwane Mayor submitted an insolvency rehabilitation certificate to the Tshwane city manager Joanne Mittler. However, on Friday, the High Court said that it have never issued a rehabilitation certificate. Mayor resigned as the councillor and mayor hours after he told the media he was back in office.
I must emphasize that COPE believes in the code of conduct. We have a code of conduct to say that all the public representatives must follow that which appears both in the code of conduct of COPE, but we, by all means possible, without any doubt, say that the constitution of the country must be followed. Now, what this man has done is extremely unfortunate, is terrible, and what we want to apologize to, number one, are the people.
COPE is still to find a replacement for the position, as they say they are working on scrutiny to find a credible replacement. The council is sitting to elect a new speaker on Monday after the coalition between the ANC, EFF and COPE fell down after Let's shift gears now into other news. Nehawu strikes 4 deaths could be attributed directly to the strike by Nehawu members, says Minister of Health Joe Pahla. Pahla said a government legal team was considering what action to take regarding the deaths. Nehawu and several other public servant unions have locked in wage dispute with government. They are not budging from their demand of 10% wage increase and say that the 4.7% offered by the government is an insult. On Monday, the 13th of March, Nehawu ordered to end strike by the Labour Court, saying that the strike was intended to intensify and joined by other trade unions. But however, the Labour Court had interdicted that this should be an end. Had a conversation with the representative from Right to Protest as we talk about protest and what constitutes a lawful protest. Let's listen in.
The lawful, that's where we start. Omhle, thank you so much for giving us your time. Welcome.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and we're really excited to be here to explain a little bit more about protest and everything that surrounds it.
Thank you so much. I think let's just begin there. Let's talk about what is a protest and what constitutes that lawful protest.
So I'll make something clear before we start. The Constitution in Section 17 allows us to have the right to protest, right? But there's no such thing as an unlawful or a lawful protest, because the Constitution also allows us to have spontaneous protest when the need arises in communities to have spontaneous protest. It's just that the protests in South Africa are governed by a bylaw called the RGA. So it's an act. It's the Regulations Gatherings Act, which is referred to as the RGA. The RGA is therefore put in place in different communities for there to be safety precautions when it comes to protest. So with the RGA, communities or individuals who wish to protest, if you guys are more than 15 who wish to protest, then apply to the local municipality to protest. And then that's called then the Section 4 of the RGA. And you have a Section 4 meeting with the police or the traffic officers to just discuss in how the protest will be running. It is not a permission-seeking exercise, but it's more of giving notice to community members that a protest will be happening. But this is not always the case, because different individuals and communities have different strategies of how they wish to express themselves and to protest. Thereon, then we see what we call as RTP, spontaneous protest, happening across the nation. But this is not something that is new. It's something that has always happened even before the democratic dispensation that we're in now.
So thank you so much for making that clarity of that there is no lawful and there is no lawful or unlawful protest. Now, let's say now the fact that, we saw that there have been a lot of protests that have been happening in the past.
All right, with that said, that's my lot for the week. More of your breaking news and fresh views coming up next week. Until then, take care.